We have with us Rafiuz Zaman and Zunaira, both political analysts. Now, thank you very much, both of you, for joining us on Indus News. Now, let me ask Zunaira first. Now, with the Taliban now in control of all major cities, other than Kabul, do you believe President Ashraf Ghani might resign?
Well, I don't see any way around, because I was hoping that when all this come to this, Ashraf Ghani would already have flown out of Afghanistan, to be honest. But I think the way Taliban are knocking at Kabul today, it has come as a surprise to many, including Ashraf Ghani. And as you know, today a delegation has arrived in Pakistan to discuss the political settlement of the future of Afghanistan. I believe there is this consensus among all the factions of Taliban as well, that in order to be recognized by the world as a legitimate political entity, they need to have an inclusive government. And for that very purpose, there is this faction of Jamiat as well, part of this delegation. And I think it's something that we can take positively, that they have realized that an all Pashtun kind of takeover, like in 1990s, is not going to work. In order to have that legitimacy that a government requires in order to work as a government, to be recognized by the world, let it be the regional powers, let it be the neighbors, it has to be all-inclusive, Afghan-led, Afghan-owned, as Pakistan has been saying. So Ashraf Ghani has no choice. I mean, I don't know if he is going to get a pie in the ponder, or if he is going to be part of this government or this setup anymore. But the common sense says, why would Afghan people want Ashraf Ghani? Because he could not save them from what was coming towards them. And it was like written on the wall. It was like a white elephant in the room. So I don't see any future for Ashraf Ghani, to be honest.
Right now, adding Mr. Rafiuz Zaman, former ambassador. So, Mr. Zaman, tell us, obviously, we are expecting, and at the same time, we are also not expecting a resignation from the sitting president right now, Ashraf Ghani. Your comment, please.
I think it would be advisable on the part of the president to resign, because it is now writing on the wall. He has been trying to hold on to it for a long, long time, and in fact, things have come to such a pass where I think he's not left with many options. And whatever was happening in the last couple of days, his authority had diminished, I would say, rather completely, and especially now with Taliban's inside in the presidential palace. I don't think so he is left with any other choice. I think the best would be to resign and then see what he's being offered by the Taliban if they want to make him a part of the coalition. But the best option available to him is to resign.
And we also know, Mr. Zaman, that there has been a meeting between the representatives of the Afghan government with Zalmi Khalilzad. What can we expect from the meeting? What is being agreed upon or discussed in that meeting under these current circumstances?
My understanding in the matter would be that Khalilzad should, look into the matter very, very cogently and see that Taliban are now a force that they have to reckon with, and they cannot, ignore them. So this is what Khalilzad has to look into. And besides that, even the government, the U.S. government, should also understand and realize that they have, failed in the attempt in order to bring Taliban down. So they have been literally cornered. And Khalilzad is hardly left with any choice but to accept what Taliban's demand of him.
Right. Zunaira, I'd like to have your comment on this as well. The meeting between Zalmi Khalilzad and the sitting president for now, Ashraf Ghani.
I think for now, they must be trying their best to evacuate whatever U.S. personnel is left over there. As you know, the shuttle kind of hovering over the capital is happening right now. It is also reported that they are trying to destroy all the documentation that are available in the embassies. So I would look at this negotiation as a last-ditch effort to get out of Afghanistan safely, so that at least U.S. government has a face to show to their people that they evacuated every single American successfully. Other than that, that, Zalmay Khalilzad, I think they are negotiating the way forward, because at the least I can think of is because the way Russia is still over there, they're not evacuating their embassy or anything. So is China. So maybe US is just trying to pulse and tap and see whether there is a room for their some kind of legitimate arrangement with Taliban, so that they still keep the leverage of regional control over there. But on a flip side of it, leaving Afghanistan in such a turmoil, and while talking to someone who has been a spokesperson for presidential palace in Afghanistan, I was told that there were no consultation in the last days of evacuation of US, which means that even the Afghan government is flabbergasted and as surprised as you and me that the way this hasty withdrawal has happened, it was not expected by any stakeholder of this war. So maybe this regional power game is already at play. Maybe in a few days you'll understand and you'll know, and I will understand and I'll know that what were they discussing. Maybe it's the safe passage for Ashraf Ghani. There's a lot of ifs conditioned to the current scenario. So let's see, let's wait and see.